Welcome back to Ron's Radio Corner. And I just did a video about the XHDATA D-219. Great little radio, AM/FM shortwave that really has gotten a lot of buzz since it came out. A great value pick. It's a $10 radio that, even people who are really big in the shortwave are like, this is just the most amazing budget pick. Really punches above its price point. Well, as I pointed out in that video, XHDATA just came out with the D-220. This is a AM/FM shortwave, but instead of being, I have the D-219 here, and instead of being oriented like this, the D-220 is sort of oriented like this, traditional sort of pocket radio. And I thought about picking one up. And giving it a review just because it was new, and I didn't for two reasons. One, as I said to myself, I really don't need another radio, particularly when it's AM/FM shortwave, or a budget AM/FM shortwave. Two, lots of other people are going to be reviewing this radio on YouTube, people who do a much better job at this than I do. So I decided, no, don't do that. But then I kept seeing the radio you see sitting in front of you, the Wenpzeray, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, Y-706. It's AM/FM shortwave. It is a transistor-style pocket radio. And I picked one up. And the reason I decided to pick this up is sort of twofold. One, I really wasn't seeing anything about this on YouTube. It's only got a handful, maybe 50 or so Amazon reviews. There's a couple of videos on Amazon, and I was really sort of intrigued by it. Not because it's a $10 radio, because there are lots of other $10 radios. There's even, well, no, I'll just stick with there's a lot of, $10 pocket radios. What intrigued me about this is, besides being AM/FM shortwave and having that same orientation as the XHDATA D-220, the Y-706 also includes the ability to do Bluetooth, and you can use a USB or a TF card for MP3s. And I thought, that's interesting. That's really interesting for the price point. A $10 radio that's not only AM/FM shortwave or AM/FM, but it's also something that can be a bit of a media player with MP3 with the ability to Bluetooth toward it. Although, to be honest with you, particularly today, I'm not really sure, particularly with the Bluetooth, if your phone doesn't sound just as good as any pocket radio. But another thing I thought was interesting is, the D-219, the D-220, those are radios that run off of regular batteries, which I think is, really critical. I think radios that have an internal battery, in case of emergency, I don't know how you're going to charge them. I mean, there's ways, obviously, but to me, the ability to kind of throw batteries into the radio is essential. What's interesting about the Y-706 is not only can you run this on AAA batteries, which, point blank, I would prefer AA batteries. I'm not a big fan of AAA, but what I thought was really intriguing was that you could also run it on this BL5C, and so what I did is I decided to pick up one of these, but to make matters worse, particularly with me telling you, I really don't want to buy more radios. I mean, I have other radios that I haven't even talked to you guys about yet. You may have seen them floating around in some of the videos, but so they had a deal going on, a bundle package. You could get 2 of those batteries. Right, there's the ones in the radio. Here's the second one, plus a radio, a black radio, for just under 15, like 14 and change. So there we go. Black radio, 2 batteries. And since I was getting 2 batteries, I thought, why not buy the red radio too? To be honest, I had seen this on Amazon, and the red radio seems like it's more heavily featured, and I really thought the red radio was sort of eye-catching. But for the price, I thought, you get the 2 radios, the 2 batteries, about $25. So really you're working out to $12.50, before taxes a piece. For $12.50, you're getting an AM/FM shortwave pocket-ish radio that can also do USB TF cards for MP3 and then Bluetooth. I thought that's interesting. That's an intriguing radio. I'd really like to check that out. So I went and I picked these 2 up. Now, I think what's really interesting is that you could you could get the XHDATA D-219, right, $10 radio, and you could kind of compare these 2 radios, AM/FM shortwave, and they're both about the same price point. You can run them both on batteries, or you could get something like the Prunus here. Let me put this where you can see it. This is my Prunus J160. Somebody asked about this in another video. This is AM/FM shortwave, similar to the Wenpzeray Y-706. It's got a limited shortwave dial, but it also supports USB and TF cards and Bluetooth. So you could, maybe compare it to this radio. I would say this sounds much better. It's bigger. It's got a bit of a bigger speaker, but it's this is a $25 radio thereabouts, but OnShear makes a radio that is pretty much very similar to this with a replaceable internal battery. It's like 15, so you're really close to that $12.50 price point that this costs with a replaceable rechargeable battery. So let me go through this really quick. Okay, so right now it's in Bluetooth mode. All right, I got it connected to my phone, and really, it connected without a problem. I could, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into it, but I could pick up my phone, throw up some music, and it plays without a problem. If you take a thumb drive and the basic controls on this side of the radio, you have MP3. It doesn't say Bluetooth, but MP3, Bluetooth are here. You flip the switch up, that goes to radio. Here's a port to charge it, or I think it would run even without the internal battery off of USB. I'll test that at a later date. An earphone jack. On this side you have the tuning knob, and then you have FM, AM, and shortwave. You have the volume control and on and off right here. Waiting for pairing. While it's in that MP3 Bluetooth mode, if I take a thumb drive, and I'm not quite sure which one, there we go. USB. I know it's so. You have the ability to play and pause, back up, different tracks. You can also hold the button down and kind of fast forward through a track or rewind through a track. So I thought that was pretty nice. The antenna on this, I would say, is about a 10-inch antenna. That would be my guess. When I played around with this earlier, I found that sensitivity. I'm going to take that off. I found that sensitivity was, without that antenna, boy, the difference between what I could pick up on FM was a lot different. I don't think you can really appreciate it. But there's some wiggle in this knob. I can tune this back and forth, and it seems like there's a little play. It's a little disappointing, but not bad. Sound quality wise, I don't think it's bad for a little pocket radio. I don't know how many of these radios this size I think are stellar. Dial accuracy, you know, I think it's a little off. There's a local station that's like 1480. And I think that's it right there. We're not even at 1400. So, like I said, I don't know if you can really see that. I can make that jump. We're still on the same station. There's a little play in there. Shortwave, I tried this a little earlier, and I really wasn't getting anything. But earlier, when I first got the radio, there was something there, a little hard to kind of pull that in. I was able to pick up a few channels during the day. I was a little impressed by that. One thing I'm a little disappointed, there's a spot on here that says LED, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's got a tuning light. It's not a tuning light. I think that only comes on for maybe charging. And I don't know if you can see that there. I think you can. I think it comes on for charging, and if you get the USB in it, but it's not for tuning. You know, what I would really hope to do at some point, I don't remember if I already did this or not, but you open up the battery compartment here, you can see the BL5C battery in there. If you take out the BL5C, there's room there for 3 AAAs. Again, I would much prefer AA's, but I love the fact that it kind of does both. So it's a $10 radio. You know, you go buy a battery for it, particularly if you buy the two of them. If you get a deal like I did, you know, you could pick up a battery for like $3. If you only wanted one radio and you wanted to buy just one battery, it might cost you $5 for one battery. You're into the radio for 15. You know, I saw the red all over the place, and I thought the red was really the sharper of the two radios. I see them in person, and I kind of like the black better. I think the black sort of reminds me of those radios from the 60s or 70s. In the pictures I saw online, in some of the videos I saw online, I got the idea this was actually a little bit bigger than it is. I knew it was still sort of pocket radio size. I just thought it was a bit chunkier than it is. And even seen some people kind of say, oh, it's a little bit big. It might be big, but compared to, you know, the pocket radios that I remember as a kid, it's probably about the same size, maybe a little bit smaller. So we'll kind of keep it at that right now. The Wenpzeray Y-706, is this, you know, worth looking at for $10? Is this a radio that maybe is more interesting than the XHDATA D-219, maybe better than some of the $15 or so options that offer you the Bluetooth and MP3? I think we'll take a deeper look at it later. So I think you'll see this again, but let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.